Hi everyone, it's Swanky Markets with the outlook for Monday, the 24th of May. Another week in front of us. Let's hope it is not as tricky as last week. If it is, I will do another Twitter day this week if we are getting it to be like last week. I mean, just to try and help you out a bit. Those who have done it before, you can see that when you're asking me questions on trades and things and I'm answering, you're getting quite profitable on these tricky days. So maybe a bit of experience to help you through them. We might do it again. So I will keep my strategy simple this week, and we will move the week forward, and we will see if we can get a lot more pips yet again. Remember, Forex is all about support and resistance. That all it is S&R. And remember, you only need to make 20 to 30 pips a day. If you make over 100 pips tomorrow, Monday, have the week off. You know, you've made your weekly quota. So that's all we need to make, and there's some patterns forming that we will go through anyway. Anyway, there have been a lot of gaps recently, and again I will wait for the market to open and settle down before entering the market. There's not a lot of news this week. I'll also be watching the Australian dollar pairs this week. Again, I expect a lot more volatility this week. Australia's facing a lot of problems right now, and more is coming to the front. We also know about their high interest rates. We know that it depends too much on China, and we know that China is trying to slow down its economy. We know their housing bubble is predicted to burst. We know there's a lot of individual debt in Australia that is now coming to the forefront, and we also know the big boys are cashing in their carry trades. So I do expect a lot more volatility on the Aussie pairs, and I will be trading them a lot this week again. We have a lot of bank holidays in Europe tomorrow, and Canada also has one, which may make trading slow tomorrow morning. America does not have a bank holiday. Obviously the UK and Ireland doesn't have a bank holiday either, so we might be alright. But the biggest news tomorrow is the USA existing home sales at 2 p.m. GMT, so be careful of that one. Okay, anyway, on to tomorrow. Pound dollar, I'm looking for a pullback to 147.50, 147.89 this week to short. You can see here that we've got a doji, which indicates price reversal, which means the price could go back up, which would be good. This is a weekly, and this is a weekly flag. So price back up to this level, I will be looking to short there. I'll be watching it closely on the lower time frames. The reason I'm saying here is 147.89. 147.50 level, you can see if you look to the left, previous support and resistance. So that is where I'm looking to short this week. Hopefully it'll come down and break this flag, and we'll get a lot of pips. It might break up, it might not, we'll have to see, but that's the area I'm looking at this week. If we look at the euro dollar on the daily, has just rejected this trend line on Friday and has come back down to this is called a shooting star, which is the opposite to the hammer. We can also see, if we go to the monthly, already this month it has been rejected off the 200 EMA, which is here, and but it's still below this weekly trend line. If we go to the weekly trend line, you can see price came up, touched this weekly trend line, got rejected, came down, touched the monthly 200 EMA and got bounced back up. So price is stuck in there. We also it is trapped. So we need price to break the monthly 200 EMA, so we may have to go up higher to take a good run to break down at it, but euro may go higher. Okay, so tomorrow I'm not going to trade the euro dollar. I'm going to wait, and I'm going to watch it, and I will advise you to do the same. I'm going to be looking at this weekly trend line in particular, so just watch the euro tomorrow. If it looks like it's going to be rejected off smaller time frames, I may enter, but I will be very cautious. Okay, let's look at the Swissy. The Swissy last week was going up. The euro and the Swissy were not correlating at all last week. We'll again look for that tomorrow. It just kept going up and up and up. As we can see, we got a shooting star, pin bar reversal kind of candle here. So there was, again, remember, watch the correlation between the euro. We waited last week for a pullback that never came, so again I will wait for a pullback. Watch this pair tomorrow. Also watch the 11310 level. If you look at the 1 hour, this pair is in what they call a bullish flag. If it breaks to the upside, this pair could go up, and we all know that the pole is here, and this pair could go up. This shows 200 pips. So if we break up, close above this, in long 200 pips you target. But while it's in here, wait for it to break out, or you could wait for it to come down to that level I just showed you, 11310. Let's put 11310 is all the way down here. That's where it is, down here at the S3. If it got down there tomorrow, I'd be very interested in longing. So we'll have to see, and we'll just have to watch this pair tomorrow. Okay, the Aussie dollar. Okay, this is it on the daily, the Aussie dollar yen. Now I'm going to spend a little time on the two Aussie pairs. I know I've only got 10 minutes. Looks like it may bounce, so be careful. And we had this insight. I said to you on Thursday night that this pair was too far outside the daily BBs. The daily Bollinger Band at the time were up there. I said they'd move down and price would move up. And price came up and met it. So that's a good tool to put in your toolbox when price is too far outside a Bollinger Band. Expect a pullback for it to meet, which we got. So, where are we? On the weekly. Let's look at this on the weekly. Alright, there we go. We can see the price got rejected right off the 200 EMA here on the weekly. And price is also broken down below the weekly 55 EMA. The MPB method worked really well on this pair this week. Last week. It may also work later on this pair this week, but it's too far away to use it tomorrow. So we're not using any MPB tomorrow. A pullback to 85.70 is what I would like on this pair. 85.70 is just below here. Previous support and resistance is 50 of the fib. It may spike up to 61.8, which is the weekly 55 EMA, and you also have the 365 on the daily, so we may get a spike up there. If we got to pull back all the way up there, I'm all over it. We make it up to the 50. However, if we look at the Aussie dollar 4 hour, we can see we're in this pennant. Okay, so you may want to wait for a breakout, and as the rule goes, this breaks out, should go south for a few hundred pips. A bit more conservative if you want to go there. If you want to get in higher, up there. So watch those on the Aussie dollar. So that could be a nice few hundred pips move. Dollar CAD leaving and not touching tomorrow. Price is trapped between the weekly 55 EMA, which is also the daily 365 just above it, and it's trapped between the 200 EMA on the daily, so I'm leaving that tomorrow. US dollar yen, you can see the price. If I go onto the daily, you can see the prices on the daily closed, weekly actually is one I want, closed out of this flag. So we want to retest, which is the 38.2 of the fib, which is around 90.60. You want to retest to that to go short. Now be careful, price may spike up here. It might spike up to 150, 180 level and then come down. So if it does look like it's going up on the smaller time frames, catch it on the downfall for your short. This could be a nice move down on the US dollar yen. If we go to the Aussie dollar, no sorry, Australian dollar yen. Let me get up my notes on that. As you can see, I said on Thursday night as well, price was too far outside the BBs, pulled back. BBs came down, that came back. It's an inside bar. It's just below the weekly 200 EMA. Okay, so we have a potential 700 pip move lining up here. If we look here, you could draw your lines a bit more that way, and you could draw it that way, and it could be instituted as a flag, or you could have a pennant. If you want to wait for a breakout of a pennant, you wait for the close outside. I'm looking for the downside. Retest, in you go short, or else you try and get in at this top trend line. Okay, this is on the 4-hour chart. US dollar, Japanese yen, could be a nice move brewing up here. If you don't want to wait for that, then where am I on the daily? I'm going to, if you don't want to wait for that, let's if price was to eventually get up here on the Australian dollar yen, which is a 365 just below the 61.8, that's 79.60, 79.80 area, also just below the weekly 55 EMA. If price did eventually get up there, I would be all over it. If price just came up to the 50, I'd also be looking at on the smaller time frames to get in short. Failing that, a breakout of the 4-hour pennant I just showed you, and we would be all over that. So that is it for tomorrow. Be very careful. Looks like we've got some nice pennants breaking up. The euro pound, this pair is confusing me at the moment. It really is, right? So if this pair gets back to 86.50 tomorrow, this level we've been talking about a lot in the last few weeks, I might take a counter trend long just up to 365, or if it breaks that up to 88.50. But if it'd only be half stake long if we get back down. So we'll have to see where the market opens and where the markets settle. But I don't know if I will or I won't. I'll think about it. I'll analyze on a shorter time frame. So think about that. If you do take 86.50, put your stop at 85.90, just below 86 level here. Okay, and you can see the 86.50 level. If you go to the left, you can see prices bounced nicely and has been a key level lately. So look at that level tomorrow. And that, I think, is it. So have a good day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow night. Okay, take care.